Folks, welcome back to another episode of Fitpod. And in studio, as always, I have some real treats for you. And today, I have John Collin, who is an online coach and a PT and somebody who competes professionally. So welcome, John. How are you, sir?
I'm very well, thank you very much, my bro.
Well, first of all, thank you very much for taking time out. And we've been trying to get this done over a few weeks now. And, we seem to always changing things about. It's because of my schedules.
Listen, bro, we got there in the end. I think nothing before its time.
That's true as well. That's nothing happens. It was meant to happen this time. It's happened. That's it. Forget the rest. Forget the rest of it. Right, John. We've spoke briefly on Insta just when we were arranging this.
Yeah.
And tell me a bit about your background and your motivation.
My background. So, I've been training since I was about 19 years old. I'm now the tender young age of 47.
Yeah,
I'm coming 48 this year.
You're looking good for a 47,
Yeah, man, it's like it's all the cocoa butter and
Is that what the secret is?
It's the filters. Yeah. You've got some good filters, so I'm hoping you make sure you put them on for this. Otherwise, that would look terribly bad. I've been training now since I was 19 years old. Wow. Story goes, I got attacked when I was younger. Got stabbed. Stayed at home. Started doing just training from home, and it just started from doing press ups. Just doing press ups in my grand's house and just doing dips on my nan's work surface, and doing it so much to the point where it just something felt right. So I've gone to obviously I've been doing this for a good let's say couple of years or so. People are starting to notice that we can see you starting to fill out. But I think at that time I never paid no attention to myself. It was almost I just done something because it felt good to me.
Yeah.
So fast forward a few years, didn't start going to a gym until I was 23.
Okay.
Yeah. So majority of my training was aesthetics training. So just doing press-ups, dips, doing press-ups up the wall.
Pull-ups and bars and stuff like that.
Well, not even so much pull-ups. It was just more so I had some press-up stands from Argos. This is just do press-ups and dips and whatever. And
let me ask you this question. Why is it easier to do press-ups on a press-up stand than it is with your hands? I don't know. To me, it just feels easier.
I tell you the truth, it's I've used press-up stands for so long to the point where it feels weird for me to put my hands actually down and do a press-up.
Really?
Yeah, because I always felt when I do a press-up, I go down a lot deeper.
Yeah, you can get a lot more deeper.
Yeah.
At least 2 more inches.
Yeah.
Right? But why is it easier? I don't know.
Because some people struggle. They say it's harder on there, but I feel like if... It's wherever your starting point is. So that was my starting point. That was my starting reference from such a young age. You were saying before about obviously when you show your young 1-year-old, your 1-year-old son that you're doing something. My uncle showed me to do press ups, and I'm an only child. Yeah. I've got a brother and a sister, but I'm pretty sure I'm a child from my mum's side. So I've always been this kid. If you show me something, I always want to do it another way. Or if you say...
One of those annoying kids. No, I'm telling you this way.
This way. And I always want to do it somewhere another way. So I started doing it on the stands. And I just realised... And I think I like the idea of being able to maneuver them around. So I do them like this and this and this. So it's all my hand variations. Yeah. So once I started cracking the hand variations, it was getting wider and in and whatever. So that was just always my thing. So I've always used press-up stands. Even when I wanted to go to competitions, I'd always have my press-up stands in my bag. And it's always that.
I mean, it's probably the best thing you could do.
Yeah.
Is a press-up. And, it boggles my mind when people can't do it. You think, you lift your own weight up. You can't be that weak.
Probably it's the best. I think I always like to say it's the best entry level into getting your strength together
For anything.
for anything.
Yeah, as an athlete, you can have, press up is the key. I mean, understandable if a female can't do it, if a girl can't do it, fine, whatever. But when you see young boys can't do it, you think,
But like,
what do you mean?
But you know what the thing is? It's like you'd be surprised that like there are people like who still struggle with it, because like you have to have been able to. I think you have to say to yourself, this is something that I want to do. So I think in order to be good at something, you have to kind of understand that you need to be bad at it first and struggle.
Yeah.
But if you've got one of those kind of mindsets where you're like, oh, this is hard, but I want to be able to do this. I just want to be able to do it. So you'll do it. So that's what it always was. So
Even if it's one.
yeah. So I think that's where it started off.
That's the problem, like with people that want to get to 10.
Yeah.
And if they can't get to 10 in one go, they'll never do it.
Then they'll just, sometimes they give up.
Yeah.
Because they'll say, oh, cause like, even when I've got clients, they say, I can only do 2. I'm like, that's 2 more than some people. That's 2 more than somebody you can't do none.
Yeah, true.
How do you feel if you couldn't do none? So just be proud of that too. So
Yeah.
that's where pretty much where it started from. So just doing press ups and dips and whatever at home. Then I started going to the gym with some of my friends, and obviously by the time I got to the gym, like most people thought I'd been training at different gyms for years anyway.
Really?
Because like obviously within my
You had that structure.
Yeah, that structure. I think it's the genetics within my family as well, and like obviously my uncle, like who I really looked up to a lot, he used to train a lot as well. So I always used to watch him do stuff. So obviously, after whatever happened, started going to the gym, and I just realised it was a place where I love being, and I could stay there for hours just doing the same things over and over again. But like typical, like obviously for a young guy, all we want to do is train chest and arms.
Yeah.
And that's all I did. I was doing chest and arms. I had no concept of legs. I didn't, obviously
Really?
the legs were just to walk about. They were not to be trained. I just had no concept of like, obviously like, but that's one thing that was my entry into training more so. It was more so, it just felt right. It was something that felt great. I didn't do it because I wanted to look a certain way, because I didn't understand what was happening. But like, obviously, you know yourself, when you train, you're usually the last person to know what you look like, because you spend so much time scrutinizing yourself.
Yeah, I'm personally, I'm never happy with myself.
I don't think anyone ever will be when they train. I think it's just that thing.
It's either too skinny, you've gone too skinny. But when you look back at those pictures, you think, wow, you actually look great.
Yes. This is something what I say to clients. I say, listen, don't like, you're giving yourself a hard time now. You know, when you're 60 and 70 and your knees are creaking and you're on your 2nd or 3rd hip replacement, and like maybe if you haven't looked after yourself and you've got a stomach hanging over your jeans, you're gonna look at this 30 or 40-year-old self and go, that was good, and I thought it was bad. So, just appreciate what you got while you got it, man. So,
honestly, it's amazing. Like, you never see it at the time.
No.
Because I've done a few transformations, and you're never happy with them. Like, yeah, you've got some good photos and clicks and whatnot, but you never like, I'm happy here. I don't want to change anything. You always want, okay, I could put a bit of size on. I could put a bit of this on. I could do a bit of that. But when you've kind of messed it all up and you got a belly again, and it's back to square one, you think, shit, why did I do that? But anyways, crack on with it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, man. But as I say, I think like it only comes with time and experience that you understand that, like, in order to keep your body in a certain state or a certain way, you have to be rigid, and you have to kind of build like a level of like rigidity within what you do. But then also sometimes that rigid state that you have can take away from other parts of your life. So for instance, if you're concentrated on trying to keep a 6-pack, you've got to say to your friends, I'm not going out for a meal with you. I can't go to Peps to go and have no food or whatever, or that's the only place I can have because they serve chicken and rice and that's it. Yeah. So like, you've got to look at things as a balance. Yeah. Yeah.
See, we'll come to like the nutrition and the lifestyle of it.
Yeah. But like obviously I think, I get what you're saying. But like I think, let me run back. So 23, basically, gym, started going, and then like I think then I just started like paying more attention to the way I was eating a little bit more, and I was paying attention to like obviously because I wasn't like I've never been a big drinker. I never like really drank or anything like too much like that. But like I just found it was something that felt right for me. Yeah.
See now, like you're 47.
Yeah.
Right. And you're in great shape for a 47. Honestly, God, there's not many 47s that look like you at the moment.
Yeah.
I mean, with the shirt on, you look full, you look great,
Yeah.
you know, and that's where I want to be, you know, when I'm 47.
Yeah.
I want to be able to, you know, just run around with my little one and not a problem and,
Yeah.
you know, wicked. But as a fitness coach now, what was the motivation or inspiration behind, you know, busy professional, helping busy professional, helping other people? Because don't you think that sometimes they bring you down with their excuses that they come with?
I think so. One thing about myself is like I like people. I like the indifference within people, and I understand that like everybody won't be if you're into the gym, you're into the gym. And if you're like you want to get like if you're a busy professional and like obviously you're starting to get a little bit out of shape, you'll look at something and go, oh, that's what I want. But sometimes they don't know what it takes to get there. So when they actually start the journey, they're gonna listen. Every coach will come across somebody who's gonna make an excuse, but that's just part of the game.
Yeah.
But I think it's more so me trying to educate their brain and educate their minds on what they can be doing to be better, because most people, when by the time they get to into their maybe 30s, 40s, and that sort of age, they probably would have gone through at least trying about 7 or 8 or 9 or even more different type diets. Oh, I've tried the carnivore diet, I've tried this, that, that. But like, they don't pay no attention to what they've been doing wrong over the years. They'll say, oh, I've done this diet and it works. And I'll say, no. You've done that diet and it didn't work. And I say, but yes, it did. I said, no, because if you're talking to me, it means it didn't work. If you're not talking to me, it means that it worked. So we don't have to have a conversation, do we? So ultimately, I think like what I do, I say I'm prepared. Obviously, that's my job, and I feel that like it's like you said, not many people will hit my age and be like this. But I think like most people, like obviously the people who are that my age and whatever, they're intrigued and they want to be able to know what they need to do to kind of be better for themselves. So like I think, and I know people of my age. I think when you it's like if you, I've been living in this body for long enough, and I've got to this age, so like I know people of my own age. I know some of like the pain points, what they've been through or what they're going through. Majority of like people when reach my age, like they've either had like they've been married, they've had kids, they've been comfortable. They've made sure like their financial elements are being set, but sometimes they pay so much kind of so much time on the financial element that they kind of neglect like obviously like the health part, where they'll say things like, well, I eat healthy, but like you eat healthy but you're not eating the right amounts. But like just these little things, and a lot of the time it's nothing technical, it's all simple things. So I just want to help them bring it back in and go away from what they may have known from before.
Have you ever like been in a situation where you had to give their money back and say, cool man, just don't worry about it?
No, not really. I think because like I think I've got to see the one thing about myself. I have patience. That's one. I don't know where it comes from, but I've just got patience, and I understand that like everyone's individual, and you're not always going to get the perfect client. They're not always going to land. Sometimes you're going to get someone who's really difficult, but like you need to have those in order to kind of balance yourself out. Because if you
appreciate the good ones
and appreciate the good ones, because I think if you're only prepared to deal with the good ones, that means you'll be like leaving like a lot of like money on the table, or obviously a lot of business out there. So you've got to kind of, and I think a lot of those people have been may have had coaches or whatever, and then they just give up on them. But I don't want to give up on anybody, because I believe that there's always something in everybody. Even if you may look at someone and go, oh, he's a so and so and he's a this and that, I won't coach him. I'm like, if you may not do it, I will. So it's about like how I build relationships with people and getting them to understand, not shoving like information and saying you've got to do this and shout, and it doesn't always work.
Yeah.
You have to kind of be flexible in your way of navigating.
Define a successful fitness transformation for your clients.
A successful fitness transformation is not always based on what you see. It's how they feel. You can carry a feeling for your life. Your look, I can get you to look great because of like your age and obviously like the way that your metabolism goes for a certain point in life. But like if you carry that feeling, you can carry that into your 60s, 70s and 80s. So that to me is what I call that's the pinnacle, because I can be in great shape now, but like I can't look like this at 70 or 80 or
not even always, even at 30 you can't always look.
You can't, because it's the body changes, but the brain only gets better and knows more as long as you train it properly and start to do what you need to do with it.
This is really important, isn't it? Like, because a lot of people they visualize success.
Yeah.
Rather than mentally, how you feel mentally.
Yeah.
Like now, people say to me, for example, "Oh, you're in great shape," but I'm not mentally in great shape.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel bloated. I feel horrible, and it's like, no, I still feel heavy.
Yeah.
But for someone else, I'd love to look like you or something. I think, all right, yeah, okay, cool, nice, But mentally, you're just not there.
No, I think so. This is what I do now. Like, I try and get my clients on the mental side first, because I say, listen, put a mental picture of where you'd like to be, but understand, without this working properly, none of that's going to come together.
True. Yeah.
You can buy all the best protein shakes and this and that and do all these kind of extravagant exercises. It means nothing until you've got this right. So I'm saying that's what I'll do. I'll try and retrain the way that they think. So I know that most people who've come to me, like, they don't think they think in a set way. There's nothing, whatever the way they think, that may have worked for them years before, but like, you have to understand that with each few years that go by, transitions happen, but you need to move everything together. So like, obviously, whatever way that we thought when we were 18, we can't still think the same way as when we were 19. Whatever I liked at 20, I won't like at 25, and whatever I liked at 25, I won't like at 30. Yeah. Same with the body.
See, with me now, I don't like a lot of things.
Yeah.
When you hit 40, ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot of things that you just don't like.
And you know what? And you are correct. And I wouldn't even. You know what? I was just trying to like sugar it up, but like now, I think it's just like they just don't serve you anymore. Would you agree?
It's just like, yeah, all right, cool. I'd rather be in bed at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock.
Listen, I've got an alarm that goes off sends me to bed at 10:45, 10 o'clock, and like I like my sleep, because like I haven't got like the novelty of staying up until 1, 2 o'clock in the morning and being fresh on the loose days.
See, that's my problem as well. I want to go to bed early.
Yeah,
I'll be in bed for 10:30, 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
But then there's a PS5 there, there's FIFA there, and then there's internet. So when you combine all that together, you get a few games online, and then before you know it, it's 1 o'clock, 1:30. You think
it is, but I think this is where you have to kind of like, I think this is what I'm talking about now. So this is where you kind of your mental gymnastics and mental strength has to start to be built.
Yeah,
because distractions are all. I think we're in a time and age right now where distractions are absolutely everywhere. Everyone's got a phone in their pocket, and if the phone is down, you've got a controller. And if you haven't got a controller, you've got like a laptop, and if you haven't got a laptop, there's something in your hand. There's some technical, something electrical in your hand.
Yeah.
Because it's very rarely going to be a book in your hand what's going to stop you from.
Bro, I've got 2-3 books that I need to read.
Yeah.
I'm not a big reader.
Me neither.
I'd listen to your audiobooks, or like a docu-series or something like that. I like visuals.
Yeah.
I've got a very, very small attention span, very small.
Me and you both. See this?
Because even that's big as well.
It's just in there. So,
and I'll just wander off. I start wondering things that, if I'm reading something and if it's not in bullet points or very clear information, my mind starts wandering off. So that's why I always like to watch stuff.
Yeah.
But that's just me. I don't know, man. I always try and get a good night's sleep in, but it doesn't. My whoop is always telling me, right, tomorrow you need to sleep at this time, or you need to recover 40 minutes extra in your sleep, and it just never happens. It's always there, man.
I think it doesn't happen because I think sometimes when you try and force something so much, it doesn't happen. I think if it's meant to be, and I think I'll stop beating myself up so much now and say to myself, the things that I need to get done or prioritise on my list, are they going to get done? If they do, cool. When it becomes where those things start to take over to the point where I can't get things done, that's when we've got a problem.
Yeah.
Anything other than that, I'm like, you know what? Yeah, let's just
roll with it.
Just roll.
What do you think of these whoops?
I've never, you know what? Yeah. Who did I see with there was is it the Matt Arm? Do you ever watch Matt Armstrong? He's the guy who does like all the car restorations. I think he's. I don't know if it was. Yeah, he's somebody on YouTube. Anyway, yeah, I think I saw him or somebody with one of those. But what they actually do.
So basically, this is, by the way, it's not a paid advert. If you want to pay me, that's cool. I've had this for about a year now.
Yeah.
So it's like a health monitor.
Yeah.
So it's always constantly monitoring your stress levels.
Yeah. Your
sleep, your recovery, and your overall strain as well.
Yeah.
Now, if I've had a good sleep and I've recovered good, it tells me that today I can have a higher strain. I can put higher strain on my fitness, basically, on my body today, on muscles. But it's not always 100%. It's 95 to 98%. I feel that, it's very accurate.
Yeah.
But when you monitor your workout, how you monitor your workout is you create a workout like you would, 10 reps or 50 reps of 15 reps of say chest press at this load, 60 kilos, whatever.
Yeah.
Right? So when you don't just type all that in, so when you type it in, you press start set.
Yeah.
So that's when it starts recording the strain that's going into your muscles.
Okay.
And it basically tells you if you've done more of heart rate strain or a muscular strain.
Yeah.
So it gives you the full lowdown of your heart rate zones, where you hit your peaks, your most strained workout, and it gives you the full whole detail of everything.
Yeah.
And I've been doing it for nearly 2 weeks now.
Yeah.
And I can go back and I can look at it and think, okay, this workout was good. This workout was good. I can improve here. My sleep is okay. Why did I stress so much at this time? Because everything's graphical, and you can actually, not just numbers, you can actually see all the whole graphs and everything.
Yeah.
And it measures the 5 most important what's the word now? I forgot. Points.
Yeah.
Your heart rate, HRH, and there's 3-4 other ones, and it's constantly monitoring you. And if there's something that goes up or down from the markers, it'll beep.
Okay. All right.
It's really good. I mean, you should get it. And I mean, you've got the Apple Watch.
So basically, for myself, I think I try and minimize.
It's like a rabbit hole, though.
Yeah, and this is what I mean. I think for myself, I have to be very careful because I've got the magpie effect. If you show me something once, then my brain, it's almost like you kind of flick the seed over, and I'm like, please don't plant it, and I can just see the roots.
I think I've just planted it. I just need to water it.
Yeah, but
I tell you, it's fantastic. The best thing about it is it's so slick, right? Sometimes you don't realize you're wearing it. Especially, I can't wear a watch and go to sleep.
Okay.
I don't like that. I used to have an Apple Watch, and it used to just bug me that there's something on. But with this, it's so light.
I think for myself, I think like I can see where the benefits of it are, but I'm like this. I think on a general day in life, things go up, things go down.
Yeah.
And you know, and I think like I think it's got, you know what, from what you're explaining now, like it sounds like a good piece of kit. But I think for myself personally, I don't think I want to try and monitor anything more. Because I think like I just like to I like to regulate myself and see how I feel, because like, as I say, like I don't know what's going to happen when I leave from here, or what's going to happen tomorrow, or what stress levels are up or down. I think I'll just do it like the way of like, if something happens today, I know that like I don't want it to happen again tomorrow. So I'll just evaluate in my head, you know what, I won't do that. Obviously that happened, so I'll change it around. Or if I go if I train, if I go to the gym, I'm gonna go and do chest today, and I might do some dips, or I might do a bit of this. And I think I'll still do things in a pretty much like an old school way, and I think I'll just base things on how I feel. I think I'm kind of.
Obviously that's more important.
Yeah.
Right, how you feel, because sometimes this is telling me that you should rest today.
Yeah.
But I feel great.
And I think this is the thing. I think sometimes if we I think technology is amazing, and like some of the stuff which is out right now is like absolutely top notch. But I think sometimes I want to be able to run off my own steam and not pay, because like I think sometimes it's good you can have like graphs and things what tell you what's what. But I feel like I like to work off my own steam sometimes, more all the time. I think there's as much as I've got with the Apple Watch. And it'll just say to you, well, whether you've been moving, whether you've been sitting, or you say to me, oh, you've got to stand up now,
that's just ridiculous.
Or whatever.
I take a walk. I don't want to take a walk.
But
I've got my boss standing behind me. I can't take a walk.
But as I say, I think like as much as
Get me sacked.
as much as I see the rings, I think for me it's like, if the rings are joined up, I'm pretty much okay. But like, I think that's the way the future's going.
This is the way the future's going. However, before I was not monitoring it, I was working with a lot of higher rate of heart rates.
Yeah.
See, with this one now, it's got a graph. It's got basically a balance. It's got the cardio on one side and muscular on the other side.
Okay.
So since last week, I've been doing it properly, monitoring my workouts properly. And when I first done it, it showed me that I had 75, I think, something like that. 70% of muscular strain. I thought, all right, cool. But today's session, which I did, was a chest session, and I monitored it, and it showed me 82% muscular strain. What do you mean by muscular strain? So basically, what it tells you that more strain on your muscles.
What is it? More strain good?
It is.
Yeah.
That's what it shows me.
Okay.
That there was less of your cardio and more of your muscular strain on your muscle. Okay. Rather than doing it just bang them out and your heart rate is high. It shows that you work more of a heart rate than muscular.
Yeah. So I think, because I think for myself, the way that I train, I train that in my clients, to feel what you're doing. And
that's it.
And so I always use like an example. I'll say, you can do this, or you can do this. One of those are not the same.
Yeah.
This is not the same as this. You can, and like I say, I think that's me always wanting to be in tune with myself a lot of the time. And I think what you've got there is something to fine tune.
That's it. It's really fine tuned. Yeah. And I tell you what, it really, really helps.
Yeah.
I mean, last 4 or 5 workouts that I have been monitoring properly.
Yeah.
You know what? If it's showing more of a cardio, you haven't actually focused on the muscle that's working.
Yeah.
And today I actually felt that I've reduced the weight, really slowed it down. I mean, my coach, I was telling you about, he uses it as well. And I seen on his Insta today, 98% muscular strength, 98%.
But don't
So
but don't you feel that anyway? Because I think, like as I say, I think
no, because before I was just going. Boom, 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 boom,
so
boom,
that's so this I think
That's it.
and this is probably why where like something like that when I say it's fine tune, but for myself, I want to do it off my own steam to know that everything I'm doing is being done right.
But you wouldn't do it. I personally wouldn't do it every single session.
Okay.
Every couple of sessions, couple of weeks, I will try and see where I am.
Yeah.
Doing it every session, like if I did a chest session today, I know, okay, I got the 82%. I'll try do the same thing with that recording, and then a couple of weeks later, I'll check it again.
Okay.
See if I've improved from 82 to 85%. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, yeah,
So
yeah.
something like that, it becomes a rabbit hole, and you just go deeper and deeper and deeper. And it's got I'll show you the stuff.
Yeah.
I'll show you the app. It's got tons of information. You think, where do I even start from?
I think like information's this is where I stand on like certain information and these kind of things, and like obviously being able to track and whatever. If you're a sports person and you need to improve like your speed, your strength, or something, and because like just like in like Formula One racing, point of a second makes makes a whole difference.
Yeah.
When you're training and when you're competing, and say if you're like somebody like who's a boxer or a cage fighter or something, you're going to need to be like at maximum strength and say, well, if you do it like if you use your body at this angle or this, and sometimes you don't even, you that may be the case, but like somebody else can probably push you out, and then you can't. But you say, I'm going to use this to my maximum degree. Yeah. But I think like as I say, for myself, I think it's for a fine tuning probably for a sports person or for someone like who's interested. So I think if you're interested in yourself to that extent, that's going to be for you.
Yeah,
but I think for myself, it's like
I think you should try it.
I think you're really trying to sell me that, aren't you, man?
I get 1 month free.
Yeah.
I get 1 month free.
Yeah, man. Like as I say, I think like. I'm not. I'm like the I have the magpie effect. You'll see something shiny. I want to be like you, but like I've got to say to myself, no. The
only problem is with this. It's a monthly subscription.
Yeah, I don't think I could justify it.
I paid out for it for the whole 2 years.
Yeah,
and honestly, I've been using it ever since, and it's fantastic.
As I say, like I think every individual person within their own body knows what they like to see or what they do. I think for myself, I'm happy with the Apple Watch. It just does what it needs to do. But even though I've got an Apple Watch, I still don't even really check no stats or anything on there. I base everything on how like I felt for that day, and like as I say.
But isn't it good sometimes to visualize what you are actually doing and see the graph? Okay, because it's, like you said, that fine tuning and
so for clients now, so when I've got clients, obviously we've got like a chart to see obviously where obviously body fat and weight and composition and all that kind of stuff. That's great. That's a great visual marker for them to see. But I think because like I'm not opposed to it, and I'm not one of these kind of people who go, oh no, we don't eat like this in my day, because I'm like, because I say like, listen, you have to kind of move with the times. But I feel for
like Eddie Abu.
Yeah, no, thank you. That's another conversation. But like, I think you have to kind of move with the times. But I think for myself personally, I want to base. I think
you know what you should do.
Go on.
I'll tell you what you should do. They do a free 30-day trial.
Yeah.
Get it.
Yeah.
Check it out. If you don't like it, you can send it back to them.
You know what? I think even with the 30-day trial, I don't know if I'd still be. I'd have as much interest. If I'm quite honest, you know what? Yeah, let me take that back because I can't. Let me take that back. Let me take that back because I can't say what I like and what I don't like without trying it. So that's ignorant for me to say. So let me take that back. So I don't know. So that may be the case. If I give it a 30-day trial and it works out okay.
Yeah, they send it out to you for free.
Yeah. And
if you like it, then you carry on with your subscription.
Yeah.
If you don't, you just send it back to them. And
yeah, well, as I say, like I may consider it. It's not something which is there's many more things in my life around about now, which is more like that's where I want to be and that's what I want to watch and that's what I want to. But like I think for health, I think I'm okay where I am.
I'll show you the app.
Yeah.
And once you see the detail, you think,
yeah,
is this the level of Again, it's a rabbit hole, and it's just becomes a problem.
Yeah.
But and I'm trying not to go down that route because, CR7 Cristiano Ronaldo, he's an ambassador as well.
Yeah.
Again, somebody like him, they need it. That
this is what I'm trying to. This is what I'm trying to say. I think you have to remember, like, obviously for me as an everyday person, I go to the gym. I go to the gym. I join. I train, coaching people, and I've got my everyday job. And I think even when I do competitions, I've got like a coach to tell me, right, let me just see this, and like he eyeballs and visualizes things. I know how I feel. I can know where my body fat needs to be a certain weight, and blah blah. So that's cool. I think that's cool enough for me. I think if you're a sports person and you want to track things, cool.
I can see you trying very hard not to bite, but anyways, maybe not.
No, you know what? Yeah, I think I can be kind of talked into things quite easy, but
I can tell. But if I'm in another 5 minutes, I think you'd be like, right, we're ordering one.
No. I think I think there's a level of justification within my own head, and sometimes I can look at something and go, I can see why I want to justify that. But like sometimes I'll look at something and go, I don't really see why I want to justify it. But
yeah, I mean, everyone's different.
Yeah.
I really, since I've been kind of tracking my workouts and stuff, I actually know now how I need to feel after a workout.
Yeah.
Looking back at a previous workout, okay, 82%, I need to get this better now. And it just gets tedious, but you just understand your body a lot better of how much strain you can put on it.
Oh, I do, as I said, I do get that. I do get it, man. But I think, as I say, like
I wasn't trying to sell you. It's not my company. I've got no shares in it.
But you know what? I think this just goes back to that thing of like when you've got something and you believe in it and it does something for you, you'll always want to. And this is obviously for what you're doing right now. You found something which you're like, this is amazing, because like there's probably like something which I watch or something which I eat or someone I know, or some shop or something where I'm like, this is the best thing ever, and like you're trying to tell someone this is great, and they're like, yeah, but I don't really. But I'm like, you gotta understand, it's great, it's amazing, but like when you find something for when you find something for yourself when it works and you can find the benefit from it. Why not? Of course you're gonna tell.
Of course, it's natural, isn't it?
Of course.
Kind of shout about it, but. Share some tips, some practical tips that you give to your clients who are struggling to find a fitness routine, because 9 to 5s, people they struggle to get that routine.
I think what I generally say to people, the first thing I want to ask is like, what do you enjoy doing? Everybody enjoys some, like, what, like I say, when I say everyone, no, I can't say because I don't know everyone, but like I'd say to them, what would you enjoy doing? Or because like, some people say to me flat out, I don't like the gym. I don't like to be in the gym. I don't like.
See, that leads to my next question. So let's combine both questions together.
Yeah.
It would be, what are some simple but effective exercises that your clients can do at home or even in the office?
Well, listen, I think you've got Bodyweight. You can, before my first experience of training was Bodyweight. I think I'd say the only thing I had was press up stands, but like learning to do like dips off the back of a chair to do my triceps and do press ups for my chest. And then obviously I know I didn't really kind of train legs as such, but like just doing body weighted squats. You do like 100, you only need to do 30 minutes a day just to get yourself into that motion of like doing exercises. It doesn't mean that you have to go, I've got to do an hour workout at home. I think there's a lot of people who are in love with the idea of buying equipment.
Don't get me started.
Yeah. So like they're
they're the ones that are not serious.
No, what it is. I think as humans, we love the idea of looking at something, thinking that can solve my problem.
Yeah.
But like, in order for a piece of equipment to solve your problem, you're going to have to use it repetitively. And you come back to that bloody loop again. But like, but we have to kind of use it. You have to kind of do it repetitively. And I think the amount of people that I know, and people, if anybody's watching this right now and listening to this, who own a rowing machine or a bike, which is now has got so much clothes piled on it, or is in the shed after having like about say having a go on for a week or a couple of days or whatever, and then that's all it becomes. So but like the simplest thing people can do is like go and buy like some resistance bands or have like some light weights. But like ultimately, if you're not going to go down before even the route of buying any equipment, just doing doing some simple squats, simple press ups, simple dips, all your kind of what I would call run of the mill chest and triceps and leg exercises, doing a plank, because like I think the only thing you're going to struggle to work out with that with body weight is going to be your back, unless unless my brain's not really thinking about anything today. But like I can't think of how you're really going to work your back without any kind of
pull-ups or something.
But that's still, but pull-ups
is
still equipment. I'm talking about just if you're like you were saying, if you're at work, or if you've got no equipment whatsoever.
Rows, a table, take a printer,
or monitor. If your boss is going to allow you to do that, but I think what I'm trying to say is
there's not much you could do for a back.
No, not really. But like, I think ultimately, if you're starting just to get yourself in the motion of doing something, using your body weight is the simplest thing, and I think like sometimes we're always looking for something exciting. Training ultimately, if you think about it on the whole, there was nothing really exciting about training apart from the outcome and how it makes you feel. Because like think about anybody who is successful at anything, they are successful because they can repeat whatever they're going to repeat over and over again and not get bored with it. True. The best bodybuilders in the world can do reps and reps and reps and get to like a certain composition and size and shape, and they will do the same exercise over so many times. So that's what it's about. And I think if you can get over like that level of boredom, as I did, and I didn't realise this is what I was doing when I was younger. It wasn't boring to me to do lots of dips and press ups and whatever. And I just started that's when I got the stands to try, like, oh, if I get stands, it makes it more interesting. Or if I put my feet up the door, it makes it more interesting. Or if I do them really slow, it's more interesting. So it's just the same movement. It's almost like when you prep. When I was prepping for a competition, and all I was eating chicken and rice and spinach. So some days I'd have chicken cut in slices. Some days I'd dice it up. Some days I'd dice the rice up with the rice. Some days I'd leave the spinach on its own. Some days I'd spin it all. But you're just eating exactly.
And your mind is like, okay, this is something new.
Exactly.
It's the same thing.
It's the same thing with training. It's exactly the same thing. How many different ways can you do a tricep exercise? You can do it from there, you do it there, you do it there. It's just the same. You're working the same muscle, but it's in a different way. But you just treat the brain's going, I'm doing something different. I'm doing, and like if you feel you're doing
that's why they say, it's the basic movements are the best movements, because
they are. You work with your grain. As I say, like, you don't work against the grain. Just once you work with the grain and you do it like so many times, you're like, well, and as I say, like, you put more weight on. A bench press is just this. And then to get better, you put more weight on and do this. And then to get stronger again, you just do this. And then you put 40 plates on and just do this. That's all it is.
True.
Yeah. So there's nothing technical about it. And as I say, like, I think if you can master the basics of just like knowing how your body moves and whatever, you're always going to be fine. But I think you just have to master that and understand that like nothing's going to happen overnight. No.
I mean, when I did my first ever, when I joined the gym and started doing it, because I wanted to lose some weight, and I've never liked the gym before 30. I started when I was 30, and I've never liked the gym before 30. I always found it a waste of time, waste of energy. It's like, why would people go there and just knacker themselves out? What for? Anyways, that changed after 30. And I wanted to I wanted to look a certain way. Yeah. It came to because when I started, obviously I just wanted to lose a bit of weight and whatnot. When I got to that point, you know, and everyone's like, oh, you know, you're looking good and this, that. Then that's the next step now, right? You go for the heavier weights, and then again, a rabbit hole. After 3-4 years, you meet a PT, then he takes you on a journey, and then that's it. Everything's history then, you know? But I understood the fact that if I wanted to be at a certain place or look a certain way, I had to do this. Not out of that I feel great. No. If I want to achieve something, I have to do 3 sets of 10, 12 reps.
Yeah.
I have to do them. That's it. Bottom line. If I want something, I got to do it. I got to work for it. And that's it. You know, it wasn't that, oh, I feel amazing. No, I've never had that. If I want to lose my belly fat or my belly or my weight, I have to do certain things that I have to. That's it. No choice.
But don't you feel that's just life in general?
It is. If you want something, you have to do something that you don't enjoy.
So imagine that, like, you've had to like endure things that you don't enjoy in order to be a successful business person, because it never came to you. It never just landed to you, did it? I'm making an assumption. Yeah. So you would have had to like done like long nights of working things out, and long nights of decorating and getting things together, and all those bits. And like when you've got like an end product, it's almost like people go, "Oh, I could do that." And you're like, "Well, just do it then." And then they start doing it and realise it takes a lot more to be. You know what? Yeah, we're just seeing the end. We're not seeing these sleepless nights. Just like obviously when someone gets to a certain position, we just see them at the gym for an hour.
That's it.
And I tell people, pay attention to the 23 hours, not
outside
the hour.
the gym.
Pay attention to the 23, not the one. We've got 24 hours in a day. That 1 hour is that 1 hour is your time to take away from you, not thinking about your food and things that you eat and things that you have to do properly, and the sugars like you're trying to avoid and all that kind of stuff. And not saying you have to avoid sugars and whatever, but like you have to kind of find a happy medium and a balance in order to get what you want. Not everybody wants to be shredded. Some people just want to just be able to fit nicely into a pair of trousers or a shirt, or some women just want to fit nicely into a dress. But you have to kind of understand that, like, you're going to have to suffer through some levels of boredom and repetitiveness in order to
you
get
have
there.
to. You have to. If you want something so bad, you will do it.
Yeah, of course.
And how important is nutrition in the fitness transformation now that you facilitate? What are some of the basic dietary advice that you give to your clients?
Listen, nutrition plays the biggest part in any fitness journey. Most people, when they get to a stage when they get to a point where they're not happy, where the stomach's out air or their health is kind of declining or whatever, the first thing they say is, I need to go to the gym. No one ever says, I need to understand what I've been putting in my body, which got me to this place in the first place. It's never a question. So nutrition plays the biggest part. So this is another thing which I'll do with people. I'll say, listen, tell me what you've been eating, or there's something that you do which has got you to that point. And usually, one of the most like any coach out there would probably hear this saying, "Well, pardon me, I eat really healthy. I eat healthy foods." And I'm like, "Well, healthy foods you may have had, and like I don't doubt that, but like it's the amount of foods that you're having, because chicken and rice is considered healthy.
Yeah.
But if I have way too much rice, way too much chicken, and not enough movement and too much sleep, that's going to cause me to put my weight on." So a lot of the time I'm saying to people, it's not about saying what's the best food and whatever. It's more kind of managing the expectations of what you're doing, and let's just kind of evaluate how much you're putting inside yourself and how much you're moving. And I think for myself, when I work with like older clients or professionals or people who get to a certain age, I don't know if you're not going to experience this yet, because I think you're still a young, healthy guy. But like obviously, when you get into like a certain age in life, you start to
such as
ailments.
What's that age from your experience?
I think when you start to get over the 40, dependent on how you have looked after yourself in prior years will probably distinguish whether you're going to start to get ailments quicker or later in life. And also how you've kind of what your diet's been like. So if you've always said things like, I just eat fish and chips and I eat all this food and I never put weight on, and it's great, so I'll just keep on doing that, and then one day out the blue, bam, now like your stomach's out here and you're not feeling too great and you're feeling sluggish. The lack of movement and the lack of probably good nutrition is now going to start playing like havoc Carnivore on your insides and your internals and your cardiovascular and your joints and things, and you're going to start like to feel these. You're going to start to feel things here.
What do you think of the carnivore diet?
I'm not into specific diets. I don't like diets. I believe this. So this is just my opinion. I believe that they work for a period. They work for a period of time. If someone can look me in the eye and says to me, I don't mind just eating nothing but meat for the rest of my life, and I don't want to eat anything else, cool, it's going to work for you. But then if I say to you, okay, so your son is getting married or your daughter's getting married or you're being invited to this party, that party, so does that mean you can't eat nothing else apart from meat? If that's what you want to do, if that's what you can do, that's perfectly fine. But for an average, everyday family person or family man or wife or whatever, for me to try and put them on such a diet, it doesn't make no sense, because now you're going to start to affect how you kind of navigate around your family and your kids.
That's right, because I think a carnivore diet, you have to choose yourself.
Of course you have.
You have to choose it yourself. Okay, because I've been doing carnivore. I started out strict. Butter, beef, eggs, salt and water. That's it. Did it for 2 weeks until my meat ran out.
Yeah.
Right. Then, but now I'm still doing the carnivore, eggs, meat, the salt and all of that stuff. But I'm having a bit of fruit. So it's more of a whole foods.
It has to be.
And it's, great. I can go out, I can eat a lot of stuff in terms of the options are there.
Yeah.
All this refined sugars and carbs and stuff, I've cut them out. I'm not interested in that.
Well, listen, as I say, for myself, because, as I say, because I want to train, I want to coach lifestyle people. I don't train bodybuilders. I think there's amazing coaches out there who train bodybuilders, or there's people who, whatever kind of like body composition you want to get to. But I want to just train. There's more average everyday people than there are competitive bodybuilders and whatever. And I want them to have a balanced life. And like the first question I usually ask, I say, do you have a family? And they'll say to me, yes, I've got like a daughter and son. And I'm like, well, listen, whatever I want to help you do, I want you to be able to help them and your family and people who you're around too. Because if I just give you a solid diet, that means when your son or your daughter or your wife or whatever say you want to go out for a meal, you're gonna have to just say to them,
sorry, lads.
No, sorry,
it's not happening.
Sorry, I can't do that. And then they'll say, can you look them in the eye and say you'd rather look better and you'd rather just look as sharp as you can be?
But one-off meal, it's not going to affect anything.
I don't think a one-off meal is going to affect anything, but like it just kind of starts to set, like as I said, we were talking about before, you kind of setting like a precedent for your family now, and you set a precedent for like your kids to say, well, you know what, this is what I have to do. And I think like obviously kids will always follow what you do more than what you say. And as I say, like I don't think there's nothing wrong with doing those things if that's what you want to do. I say, me personally, if someone comes to me and says, John, can you put me in the carnivore diet? I'll be like, no, there's probably someone else who can help you do that.
Yeah.
I can help you look if you want to look, but like it's not something that I can do for you personally. I need you to eat whole foods. I need you to eat carbs. I need you to eat veg and fruit and fiber, and I need you to eat your proteins. I need you to have a balance of everything because they all play a major part. Taking away something and just having like a set diet is more for an aesthetic, I feel. Some people may say, well, no, but like it's more healthy for us because we don't have to eat this. And I'm like, well, tell me when you were born, did your parents put you on a carnivore diet?
I wish they did.
From and so and you know what? Yeah, it's funny you say that. I think this is what I'm gonna go to with this. So like, it's like whichever background you come from, that's the way you eat. So what's your Pakistan. So like obviously the way that your mom cooked and the way that obviously maybe if you got sisters or aunties, the way that they cooked, that's what you've always known. And so and like obviously that has always consisted of everything that you've needed. But like if they did, just joking now, say they did like just put you on a carnivore diet, that would be fine for you because your body would have been in tune with that from early age. But like I think when your body is, there's nothing wrong. I don't, as I say, like forever wants to. There's nothing wrong with people saying, you know what, I'm going to go from being a meat eater to a vegan. I'm going to go from eating this to this. But understand when you do it so later in life, I think there will be repercussions because now you're going to have to try and find a source of what you're missing from what you've taken. You've got to replace it.
It's I've done carnivore now I did that for solid 3 weeks. Right. Didn't have any issues, man. Now I'm nearly 40 now. Right.
3 weeks. Could you do that for over 3 months?
Yes. If my meat didn't, I just got lazy. I couldn't be bothered to go and get. Okay, because things like this, because the thing is, like, when I started the fitness thing 8-9 years ago, I really wanted to look a certain way. Now, not everyone will have that same mindset because if I'm going to do something, I'll put my 110% for 3 months, 6 months, because I know it's only that time, and see where it gets me. Do you know what I mean? I'm experimenting rather than anything else.
Okay, so I'm not against experimenting because I will tell you, I done a vegan diet for nearly a month and a half.
Can't stand vegans. Well, not vegans, but
no. So
it's like I want to have a cheeseburger, but I want it out of plants, but I want it to taste like a meat. So just eat the bloody meat.
I think that's you know what that's I think that's probably like even like a different set of a conversation. But I think from I think most people what was it, that program? What was on Netflix? When it's told you about being vegan, there was a program which
Arnie was in it and a few other people were in it.
There was a lot of celebrities like endorsing the vegan diet.
I can't remember. I don't know which one you're talking about.
So there's been a few things on Netflix where people have been intrigued by, where there's like whether it would be the thing about salmon and tuna and carnivore diets or supersize me or
Liver King.
Liver King. All these things it's I don't think there's nothing wrong with being experimental.
Fine.
Because like in my head, I thought to myself, I'm going to have a go. I'm going to try this vegan diet for this length of time, because there is not a chance in hell that I'm going to give up the good food that my mum cooks for the sake of just eating all this. And some people who's watching this now say, well, I'm on a vegan diet, I'm fine. I'm like, that's cool for you. You always speak for yourself. Don't ever speak for me on what I'm going to put into my mouth or whatever. Always speak for yourself.
That's the problem. It's like this whole, like the vegans and the vegetarians and the pescatarians and the this-tarian and that-tarian. It's like, cool, if you want it, wicked cool. I don't force it on people.
No, I don't think there's anything wrong with it, and I think that's fine. But don't try and make me look guilty for eating like a chicken.
Exactly. Did you see that on Piers Morgan show? One of these protesters or these, I think, vegan people come on and they're trying to explain why is it bad to eat meat. You're killing animals just to feed yourself, and it's just like, what are you doing? If you don't like steak, don't go to that restaurant. Why sit as...
What was the percentage of... And listen, this is, as I say, when I say like this is not me against vegans, but I'm just asking a question. What percentage of vegans were they in, like, say 60s, 70s, and 80s.
Probably none.
There may be vegetarians.
Yeah.
There may be vegetarian, but like there wasn't people saying I'm not going to wear a leather jacket because like the vegans and whatever, or I'm not going to wear it.
Exactly.
But I'm saying I understand your plight. I understand that like yes, it's animal cruelty and whatever. That's cool, but like I don't see it the same way.
I don't see it the same way. I don't see it the same way because they are there to be eaten.
Well, you know what? Yeah, as I say, like I'm sure we could live without eating them, but I like what I like. I like what I like, and I think that's it. I don't
my beat.
Yeah, man. And I think going back to what I was saying before about trying the vegan thing. I watched this program on Netflix, and it said, you know what? Yeah, gorillas, they just eat, like, they don't eat meat, and look how strong they are, and elephants, look how big they are. And I'm like, okay, let me see how it goes. So I'd done it for about a month and a half, and one thing I realised that like I could eat a lot of veg and because you can do because it's fibre and it's going through, so it went through my system very well. I did lose weight, and I lost weight, but I not dramatically, but I just knew I felt more energetic,
lighter.
I felt lighter. I felt energetic. That's cool, but like at the same time, I'm like, well, now when I'm out, I'm struggling to find food what I enjoy. I realised in that time when I was out and about, and I wasn't like obviously kind of really watching my food. Obviously, well, I was watching my food because I was vegan, but I wasn't. I was on the vegan diet, so I didn't go into McDonald's and buying a veggie burger. Go KFC, go buy another veggie burger. Go to what's the
Subway?
Subway. Go to Subway. Go buy another veggie burger, and they all tasted the same.
Yeah.
So I'm just eating the same kind of texture of foods from different places, ground carrots and ground different vegetables.
Nonsense,
and it's like and like obviously I went to a vegan restaurant. And I went to a vegan restaurant for my birthday because I think I tried this vegan around my birthday time. I got all my family to go to this vegan restaurant. They did not thank me for it. They did not thank me for it at all. They were like,
well, that's what I mean.
Yeah, because in their mind they're thinking, oh, we're going for John's birthday. Well, we're going to a vegan restaurant, and like I'm eating these things. I'm like, yeah, this is all right. This is all right. And in my head I'm like, nah, but as I said, for myself, I experienced it and I know what it felt like. But for myself, I'm like, this isn't something that I personally can keep up. There are people out there who live a vegan lifestyle and they have cracked it, and they're perfectly fine. That's cool. That's great, because you should always appease your own body. Don't try and do it for someone else, or try and tell somebody that they shouldn't do something.
What do you think of Eddie Abu?
Eddie,
I mean, I'm trying to get him on, but I just can't.
No, I think like he's a big entity right now. And there's certain things what he says, and it makes sense. But there are lots of things for that, and then this could, like, remember what I do. I coach just average everyday people, and I put myself in that category. I'm an average everyday person. Yeah. So the average everyday person doesn't want to eat 7 or 8 eggs. They want to eat a cereal. The average everyday person wants to wake up and have like, they want to wake up and have oats and this. They want to have variety. They want to eat what they want to eat. They want to taste things with a bit of sugar in there. There is people who demonize foods, or kind of say things like, that is wrong. It may be wrong for you because like you may have like an intolerance. Cool. That may be wrong for you because you're gluten intolerant. Cool. That may be wrong for you because, but like, not everybody. It's like when he's saying, well, don't have protein shakes and this, that, that. If you don't want to, or if that's what you believe, that's cool. But like, there's been many people who have been drinking protein shakes for many, many years because they need to get like an extra bit of protein into their diet. If it was affordable, remember you saying just about like the meat and being able to kind of get it all in and whatever.
It's expensive, bro.
In this expensive game.
See, a carnivore diet is expensive diet.
Well, this is
very expensive.
Well, this is what I'm trying to say about like obviously with the reason why we have protein shakes is to get that extra bit of protein, which we can't get from
On a
having,
budget.
and what we can't have from having steaks every day and loads of eating chicken all day long. Some people want variety, and I think that's what it's there for. You're supposed to have variety, but like I think like he's onto a good crap, because like now so basically, like listen, his thing is where he's gonna say, wake up and whatever, but like many people wake up every day who have been eating a variety of foods. So I say I'm not against him. I think he's got like his army of people who say, okay, so just like after going back to your there's an army of people out there right now who know what's on your wrist and who say this is the thing for us and this is the reason why we do it, and that's cool. But there's also an army of people out there who go, you know what, yeah, I've had my Apple Watch and I've had the first generation, second generation, third generation, blah, blah, blah. That's cool. But you need indifference in life. We can't all be the same. So as I say, like, and I think I like indifference. I like the fact that people think different things, and I like the fact that like he likes red and he likes blue and he likes this way and that way. That's what makes our world interesting. If you haven't, it's a very, very boring place. But I think you can do those things, and I think what he's done is kind of controversial with it and making people feel small for whatever they eat. But like if you've got like a real sense, it's like you're gonna go, no, if that's what you feel, that's what you feel. But I'll tell you what I'm gonna have right now: Rice Krispies. And that I'm gonna have right now. I'm gonna have like frosted flakes.
But don't you think that it's good advice though? What he's giving?
Listen, it's the advice is if say like I like variety, and I think I'm not saying that his advice is bad. I'm just saying I like what I like, and there's other people who like what they like. I don't think I say the advice is bad for me because I'm not going to take it, but it may not be bad for someone else. You see what I mean? So like, okay, put it like this: if I put this out there, I'm not going to give it to you. I'm going to put it down. I'm just going to present it. So there's a cup there. If you want it, take it. If you don't want it, it's okay. If it's and that's the way I look at people who say things. They're presenting me something because he's not coming to my house and telling me. He's not coming to my house and taking all the cereal boxes out of my cupboard. He's just telling me something.
And he can't ever do that.
And he can't ever do that because he's going to have to go to like many houses. But like he's presenting something. So basically, he's telling people not to eat certain things. What he gives out is what we eat. Yep. Your diet is not just what you eat like this. Your diet is everything in what you take in. So he's putting his buffet out. I'm just not eating it. Some of it, I'll pick at some of it, but I'm not eating the whole thing. As where some people go, I like everything that he cooks there. He makes sense about this, and sugar, blah, blah, blah. That's cool. You're supposed to have different opinions. So as I say, for me,
the way I look at it is it's good advice, because some people, when they get addicted to sugar, it's very difficult for them to come off. And white sugar, refined sugar is really, 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 really bad for you.
Yeah.
Right. It might taste great, but it's really bad for you. There's a lot of health issues that come with it. So if you can prevent it, then why not?
But that does not come down to like having your own mind and saying to yourself.
But some people don't have that though.
But about alcohol?
Same thing.
Same thing.
Yeah.
There's people who have a little drink every now and again, and they're fine. But there are people who are alcoholics.
Exactly.
There are people who have a bit of sugar and they're fine, and there are people who don't have any.
See, I can have a bit of sugar.
Yeah.
Like in my cup of tea, I'll have brown sugar. I'll have honey.
Yeah.
Right, organic honey. A bit of it. I always stay away from the white sugar. Not interested. Literally not interested.
But think about it. It still does the same thing. It enhances the flavour.
No, it does.
So
it does.
So I know what you're saying about.
But I would have the organic honey over white refined sugar.
Yeah, I know, but like I know that there's this like that's the better version to have.
Yeah.
But ultimately, what I'm trying to say, it doesn't. All we want it to do is enhance a flavour.
Yeah. That's the bottom line.
So if I put in white sugar into your cup, if I mixed it down into a drink, and I mixed brown sugar down to drink, could you tell the difference?
I might be able to now, because it's been so long. White sugar is a lot more sweeter.
Okay, so I don't know, because I think sweet is sweet, sugar is sugar. To me, sweet is sweet, sugar is sugar. I think anything sweet and sugar, you should be kind of mindful of how much you're having. I think too much of it's going to give you. It doesn't matter whether it's brown, manuka, or what or whatever. You should always be mindful of how much you're putting into your body.
That's the bottom line. That's the bottom line.
Yeah, because too much
of anything is not good. Too much of meat or chicken or.
Bro, I tell people, this is what I say to my clients. A lot of my clients will say things like, John, is this any good? Is this bad or is this good? And I say, what is it? Oh, it's this. And I say, where did you get? I said, did you buy it from the supermarket or did you buy it from a guy down an alley in a black bag? And did he look both ways and shove it to you and then did he run off and give you the money? I said, no, John, I got it from Asda, Tesco or whatever it was. I said, fine. If that's okay, there's nothing bad about it. But if you're going to eat that all day, every day, if you're going to put that into, if you're going to eat something and have some of that, you're going to do something else and have some of that, then you're going to wake up in the morning and have some again. Then in the afternoon, you're going to have some again. And every day, expect it to give you a hard time. If you're going to say, I have this once in a while, and again, cool.
Yeah.
Just like how if you're on like some weight loss journey, and somebody invites you to, because I always use the same example all the time. You get invited to a wedding or a christening or whatever it is, wedding, christening, bar mitzvah or whatever, and there's going to be tasty foods there. If you go to a wedding in your culture,
yep,
are you going to tell me you're going to go to a wedding and there's nothing sweet there?
Nope.
Exactly.
Everything's sweet there.
Exactly that. So, but how often is a wedding? Really?
Wow. I've got shitloads coming up.
Well, you know what? You know what? Yeah, I was about to say you probably like a bad example to ask about, because I know that, like, obviously in Asian culture, in Asian culture, there's always.
But then again, I've kind of rewired my mind about sugar. I'll have one or two pieces of sweets, and that's it. I know where to stop.
Well, there you go. Because
but some people, you see them, you just can't stop eating.
But ask yourself, how did you get to that point?
It's because when I started my first ever diet, I went cold turkey on no sugar, no carbs. Cold turkey.
Yeah, which is a big mistake, don't you think?
This was 8 years ago, 9 years ago now. And I think that really helped me change my and since then I've been off white sugar and even brown sugar as well. Occasionally now I'll have a bit of a brown sugar here and there if I feel it. If not,
I don't have sugar at all.
There you go. I mean, I don't crave for it.
Listen, so let me reiterate what I said. I don't use sugar, but I have cakes. I'll have cake treats here and there. And when I tell people, they're like, who says, "Oh, this is like my son's favorite chocolate bar. Oh,
That's it.
I want to, let him have." You buy him some more, and he'll go, "Well, that's my favorite chocolate bar." So I'm gonna wolf it down, and that's it. But like I say, you have to kind of have like your mindset and understand your own body.
Yeah, this is where the boot comes. You monitor everything.
You had to squeeze. You had to shoehorn that and get the whoop in there. Whoop,
I need, I need that 1 month's free membership.
Yeah.
Right, before we say our goodbyes, one last question. I want to talk about the some of common myths about fitness and nutrition that you would like to debunk, which is going around today. A lot of trends.
One thing is
That really bothers you.
Well, you know what?
Apart from Eddie Abu.
No. I don't think, because myself, I think I'm a very kind of like calm thinking person. I'm always this way. But like one thing, one of my last conversations I had with like a female client, and she said to me, I don't want to push too much weight, so I don't want to get too big. And I said, what do you mean? She was like, I don't want to be like one of those women. You know, those women, and like they're really big on the and I'm like, but this is the thing. It's like I didn't, because like I could eat. You know what? Yeah, because the kind of person I am, I want to educate. I don't want to let them. Because like I tell people, there's no such thing as a stupid question. Yeah, there's just questions.
Course, yeah.
You only know what you know. So if you So I'm not going to laugh at you and go, oh, you go. So I'll say to them, listen, it's going to be impossible for you to go from the weight that you need to lose into somebody who is muscular in the space of time. You have to give dedication to your diet. You have to give dedication to absolutely everything. And the women who get to that certain stature of size, they're enhanced, so it's going to be hard for you. I said you'll get toned. You can, I would say, women probably more in that position of getting like bigger legs and bigger bums and whatever. That's cool, but like you're not going to get muscular. That's not going to
anytime soon.
That's not happen anytime soon.
That is such that even with guys as well. They're like, oh, we don't want to do too much. I don't want to get big.
Most guys, when I train guys, they'll say things to me. John, they always, so like a lot of them do this, and so like if anybody ever watches this, and like obviously you've been like my clients, this is not aimed at you, but this is like because like,
we love you, but
I'll tell you the thing, because like most people, this is another thing now. When people come to me and they say things, they feel that they're the first person to say that to me, or they're the only person who's thinking that. So most women think that they're the only women who just want to tone up. Most guys think I just want to lose this, but everything else is okay. And that'll be another thing I'll get onto in a second. So yeah, that thing of women thinking that they can't lift weights, otherwise they're going to get too big. No, you're not going to get big. You'll get this. I'll tell them you need to lift weights alongside doing your cardio. You need the two to work together in order to get the best out of yourself. Because too much weightlifting without no cardio will turn you stiff. Too much cardio without the weights will just burn away your muscle, and then you'll kind of come down, and you'll be kind of like you'll be shapeless. What was the other thing I'll just mention just a minute?
About the guys? About stomach or something?
Okay, so when guys, and not just guys, both will come to me and say things like, I just want to lose this bit here. And I'm like, you can't just move weight from that area alone. It's a whole thing. You need to understand that, like,
it's the last bit.
And that's usually the last bit to go. And I'll say to him, spend less time watching QVC and asking me whether this machine's any good. Because like I always like laugh and joke, because I always go, do you know, I found this machine and all you have to do is this and you can get an abs. I'm like,
yeah, at 10% body fat, yeah.
Yeah. And I say to him, like, so there's no such thing as aiming just to get weight off here. I said, if you've brought your weight down and you want to have one strong big arm, that's possible. You want to have one strong leg, that's possible. You want to have one strong left arm, that's possible. You want to get strong, just big traps on their own, that's possible. Because we've all seen that. We've all seen somebody who's big up here and then nothing else there. That's possible. But to lose weight or lose fat just from areas that you specifically want to take them away from, unless you're using cosmetics and fat burners and dissolvers and all that thing, that's different, and that's another conversation. Which if that's your thing, that's your thing. But yeah, those are the two main things. If anybody's ever listening, that like the two. But
don't ever ask those questions ever again.
Well, listen, you can ask, but like I'm not going to be rude about it. But I will always tell you that, like, listen, don't let anybody else try and convince you that like that's.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think that's. Even my brothers was, I want to just
they always do this. They're just listen. Everything else okay.
Yeah,
it's just this. And I'm like, well, what have you tried to do? Well, I've done loads of sit-ups. I'm like, well, what about your diet? I eat really well. I'm like, I think you do eat really well. I think you eat too well. But like, understand that like there's good food and there is such a thing as having too much of a good thing.
But John, you know, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Likewise, my brother.
Because I know we're gonna keep within the time.
Yeah.
Because this is a conversation that can just go out for 3, 4, 5 hours before we even know it. But thank you very much for your time. And where can people find you?
Right, so I do have me and my friend Jacob. We have our own podcast. It's called Down to the Core Podcast.
Okay.
You could find me on John _ I can never remember. This is where I need my friend Jacob now to tell me. Yeah, so I can never remember my own Instagram. But if you look for John Collins or look for
it's going to be on the
look for
screens
look,
anyway.
look for Down to the Core Podcast and look for John Collins. And then you'll find me, because I do online coaching, I do PT as well, and there'll be like there's a lot more things coming from like me and my friend Jacob in like an upcoming couple of months. We do like skits and funny video skits, and we talk about these kind of things as well. So yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah, so I was gonna say I'm gonna hopefully we can invite you onto our show.
Definitely. I'd love to come.
I'll just say this very quickly. I know I keep on chatting, but you have an amazing setup here. I'm so kind of in awe of everything that you've got. It's absolutely A1. So whatever you're doing, you've got to keep it going, man. Because I think
definitely, you know, God willing, if everything is good, you know, main thing is to inspire people.
Yeah.
And like I said to you earlier, you know, the reason why I did this was to inspire people to make, you know, so they make a positive change in their life. You know, something that might be in your story that just clicks with them, and they make that change and, you know, have a good life ahead of them.
Well, bro, you definitely inspired me, because I say when I saw there's somebody that I saw on this show, and I looked and I was like, that looks. I really it drew me in, and so I started like going down a little rabbit hole and seeing what you're doing. And I'm like, and it's almost like it's funny how you can kind of like know whether you kind of like somebody just from looking on their page and like listening to them doing what they do. And I'm like,
well, I appreciate
and like
it,
and I think just from what I saw, you're just like a very likable guy, and like, you know what, you are the same in real life as you are on your screen, and there's not many people who do that. So I love giving people their flowers. So, bro, carry on doing what you're doing, because you're doing an amazing job.
Thank you very much.
No problem at all.
Thank you very much. Right, ladies and gentlemen, as you've seen this discussion and the conversation with John, hope you liked it. Like, subscribe, comment, let us know what you think, and any questions. I'm sure we can pass it over to John, and we can get him in again and answer some questions.
I'd love to.
So till then, God bless, and make that positive change. Thank you.